plan a wedding in a slightly different way. So picture your ideal wedding. It's going to be a dream wedding, whatever that means for you. Let's start the picture with yourself. So here you are the person getting married, congratulations. And your target, I'm going to put this as a goal or something that you want as an outcome. You are aiming for a dream wedding, whatever that means for you. Now, planning a wedding isn't easy, and it's often good to create a team. So let's imagine that you are creating a team to help you plan this wedding. The team's going to look something like this. You've got some bridesmaids, maybe some friends, maybe there's a head bridesmaid to help you out. This is the team. So let's imagine that we're going to plan this wedding with a team approach rather than just one or two people trying to do it on their own. So you get together with the team and you discuss what do we need to do? What do we need to plan for this wedding? And you create a to-do list. So you create this nice, simple to-do list. And the thing that's different about this to-do list compared to a traditional to-do list is that you prioritize it. You prioritize it by value, with the things at the top giving you more value towards the dream wedding, and the things at the bottom are of lower value. So it's nothing more than a to-do list, but with a twist that we have it prioritized by value. Once we've got the to-do list, we can now start going into what I call weekly cycles. So let's imagine that we're going to plan this wedding and we're going to work in weekly cycles. So let's jump in and imagine that it's now the beginning of the first week. So because you've been on this course, you decide to use a visual management board to plan the week of the weekly work. And you get together with the team and you have a weekly planning session. So at the beginning of the week, you have your weekly planning session and you take a look at the to-do list and you try and select some items that you can start and finish within the week. Let's say that you've selected 3 items. So we're going to start them and finish them in the week. This list, the 3 items, become known as this week's list. So this week's list, we've got 3 things that we're going to focus on. Let's now get into doing the work. And the symbol that I'm going to draw now highlights doing of work. So you're doing the work, you've got your 3 columns, and you're focused on getting the 3 items done, and you're going to use your visual management board. Now, every day you are going to pause. You're going to get together as a team, and you're going to have a daily coffee. And the purpose of the daily coffee is to synchronize on how you're going and to ask for help. So it's a great opportunity for the team to gather and just see who needs help. Do we need to change direction? Are we going to achieve these 3 items by the end of the week? Then let's fast forward to the end of the week. And hopefully by the end of the week, you've actually managed to finish the items. So we call this finished work. Once we finish the work, we need to get some feedback. And here's the bad news. We're going to get the feedback from the parents. So you've got to show the parents what the decisions you've made regarding to the wedding. So we're going to show the parents the finished work, and they're going to give us feedback. We're going to get feedback from the parents. Some of it good, some of it might not be so good. And based on that feedback, we may then adapt what we do next in our to-do list. Once you've had that session with the parents, you may well need this, the Friday drinks. And in the Friday drinks, you're going to talk about how the week went, and you're going to think maybe what went well, what could be done better next week. And this is about continuous improvement. So you're going to have the Friday drinks, then you may change a little bit in terms of how you're working. At some time during the week, you're going to kind of do a little bit of planning ahead and getting ready for next week, and you're going to be adding detail to things in your to-do list. This is how to plan a wedding in a slightly different way, working in 1-week cycles. Now let's take a look at this and turn it into Scrum so you can understand Scrum as a framework. So first of all, in Scrum, we have the product owner as a role. And the product owner's job is to try and come up with this outcome. So the dream wedding, the equivalent of the dream wedding when we're working in Scrum is known as this, the product goal. The product owner doesn't work alone. Just like in the wedding that there was a team, in Scrum we have a team. It's the product owner working with the developers who are the doers and also the Scrum Master. The Scrum Master's job is to make sure we're working with the framework in the right way. Collectively, they are known as the Scrum team. So the Scrum team are going to help the product owner, but the product owner needs to talk to some other people as well. The product owner needs to talk to stakeholders and see what their requirements are. What do they think we need to achieve this product goal? Also, going to talk to customers and engage customers. The product owner needs to understand what customers want so we can build something that meets their needs. And also, of course, the team are going to be involved and the product owner will engage the team. Based on all the discussions and the outcome we're trying to create, which is the product goal, the product owner will create the product backlog. And this is nothing more than a to-do list. So the to-do list is known as the product backlog. And it's a list of items prioritized by value that will help us achieve the outcome, which is the product goal. So once we've got a backlog and we've got the goal in place, we can now go into our cycles. And we'll use a weekly cycle to make it the same as the wedding. So the beginning of the week, we're going to do this, the Scrum team are going to get together and they're going to do some weekly planning. And in Scrum, that's known as sprint planning. This is the first event of Scrum, and we're going to go into sprint planning. Now, in sprint planning, we look at the top of the backlog, and we try and find some items that we can start and finish within the week. We're going to take 3 items into the sprint. This becomes known as the work for the week, which in Scrum is called the sprint backlog. And this is the second of our Scrum artifacts, the product backlog being the first of our artifacts. We also set in sprint planning, we set a goal, and it's called the sprint goal. And the sprint goal is a short-term goal. It's a tactical goal just for the week. And it's a stepping stone towards the bigger outcome, which is the product goal. So we've completed sprint planning. We all know what we're doing. The Scrum team are ready. Let's go and do the work. So this symbol, of course, is the team doing their work through the week. They're going to be focused on a couple of things as they deliver the work. One, they're going to be focused on the sprint goal, making sure that we are going to achieve our sprint goal. They're also going to be focused on quality. And as they're doing the work, they're making sure that it's being done to the right degree of quality. And our quality checklist is called the definition of done. So they're making sure that as work gets completed, that it meets what we know as done. Every day, the team get together. The equivalent of the daily coffee in Scrum is called the daily Scrum. So the team get together for 15 minutes and the Scrum team talk about how are things going? Are we on track to meet the sprint goal? Who needs help? It's a great chance for the team to come together, orient around the work and adapt as necessary. The end of the cycle, the week's finished. We're hoping that you've got the 3 items done and we've got some finished work. And in Scrum, the finished work is known as the product increment. The product increment. This is the third of our artifacts, the work that's been done. At the end of the sprint, we need to get some feedback. The equivalent of this showing the parents is the sprint review. So we go to the sprint review and we show not the parents, but we show the stakeholders. And the stakeholders give us feedback on the work we've done. We show them the increment. They inspect the increment. And we may need to adapt. Based on their feedback, we may need to adapt and change what we're going to be doing in future sprints based on their feedback. The last event or meeting in Scrum, the equivalent of the Friday drinks, is known as the retrospective. And in the sprint retrospective, the team talk about how did the week go with regards to people, process, and tools, and what could we do better? It's about continuous improvement and creating that culture of always trying to do better. And we take an improvement item from the retrospective and we focus on it in the next sprint. And I like to make it visible on the visual management board for your next sprint. Sometime during the sprint, you're going to spend some time adding detail and estimating and prioritizing work for future sprints. It's called backlog refinement. This is getting ready for future sprints. And then the cycle continues. And we go into the next week, we start with sprint planning and we continue in that way. So this, everybody, is Scrum on a page. I hope you enjoyed the wedding analogy. Enjoy planning the wedding and enjoy working with Scrum. Thank you.